Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Wanted to be your father. I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father, but your father's dead.
I'm short. I'm bald. I can't get any hoes.
She's on me, bitch.
Tonight you meet the team of Thunder Tits.
Adam! You fucking Mark! Fire me! I'm gonna do some real cowboy shit!
Must be juju. Goodbye. Mwah. Good night.
Bang! Yes!
These people walk away, only one thing on their mind, and it's a phrase of, whose house?
I'm better than you.
And you know it!
Restore the feeling. Bravo, I am the feeling.
Ooh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode, a new episode of Wrestlelite. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Steve Marcamania. I'm here to talk about professional wrestling and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to another episode of Marcamania, Part 4. This is going to be a recap, though. Like, you know, the last one we did was a preview, right, of WrestleMania. This is the recap. Things are starting to look up and up for me as far as my scheduling, how we're going to be doing things and things of that nature. So it's looking really, really good for the most part, you know, to throw content out there and kind of do what I want to do. But yeah, I am here to talk about all things professional wrestling. My goodness, was WrestleMania great or was it great? I feel for the most part, you know, obviously there's some complaint. There's going to be complaints about anything you do. But there will definitely be some complaints. It's a part of it. At this point, we just got to get used to it, right? I think the complaints are justified. I don't think there should be a reason to be like, oh no, they shouldn't get complaints about anything. No, that's not true. There's a lot of things we could probably throw out there that's like, yeah, this was not good. So we're definitely going to be talking about that stuff because I think it's very interesting. It's a fair conversation to have, right? And I think that's the perfect way to put it. It's the perfect conversation to have, right? Where it's like, okay, like, yeah, sure. It might have not have been the best WrestleMania, but I don't think it was the worst like everybody else was making it out to seem. Everybody was like, oh, it's the worst WrestleMania, blah, 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 right? Like, no, I wouldn't go that far to say, like, it was the worst WrestleMania ever. I'm not, or top 5 or top 10. No, I thought it was a pretty good WrestleMania. I think Night 2 saved it. But I feel like, too, that's kind of where we're at right now with the WWE, just because they do have these Night 1s and Night 2s of WrestleMania. You're either going to have night one was better or night two was better. Like I feel like you're always kind of gonna have that, and which granted, like, okay, right? Like it is what it is. Like I don't think we're necessarily too uptight about that or too strict upon that, but it's like you know when a company can do when they can give their all and be put on a great show. Like you know when that time is, you know when that's going to happen, and you have that feeling. And obviously, right, they didn't necessarily give us that in night one, but night two I felt like was very, very good. The match was being fairly short, and I thought that was a weird thing, just because like I don't know. It felt weird, like especially like the women's matches, and I think everybody was just pointing that out, and I understand it because yeah, it's like the women's matches shouldn't be as short as they were for no reason at all. They shouldn't have been that short. I don't care what anybody tells you. Um, no, there's no reason any of those women matches should have been that short. Um, I mean, you look at it's Rhea, Jade, Liv, and Stephanie back here. They should have had tons of time. And granted, maybe it was because the injury to Stephanie, right? Liv having her own injuries to her face as well. Like, okay, like that is a valid point, and maybe that was the situation, but none of the other women's matches went on much longer. So it was just very weird. It was very weird. The Hall of Fame was weird too. It felt off. Everything just felt off. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know. It felt off. We seen the return of Paige, right? Congratulations to her on returning. We seen the Hall of Fame, AJ Styles, Stephanie McMahon getting inducted. But even then, that was kind of just like weird. Like it had a weird vibe to it. Like something just wasn't right, right? And again, this is my opinion, right? It doesn't have to be everybody else's opinion. Everybody else is and can have their own opinion. This is just my opinion and how I feel about things, and I don't know. I just felt like it absolutely could have been better. There's things that could have been done that could have kind of changed things a bit, right? And obviously, those things did not happen. Obviously, we got a different outcome, a different result. But I don't know. It was just, in my opinion, for me, it felt weird. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people have that same sentiment. They're like, yeah, it was definitely a weird weekend to say the least, just because of like why aren't said people getting the minutes that they should be getting? I mean, like Roman and Punk, they got their minutes, right? Which granted they were gonna get that. Like there was no reason that they were not gonna get that. I don't know. It just felt very weird for me to just be there and be like, why are these matches just flying by? I actually worked that weekend. So I worked that weekend, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get the pay-per-view. So I got the ESPN package because I was like, I'm be at work, right? I want to be able to replay it at work and just watch it so I can, talk about it. And granted, it took me 2 weeks to finally record a podcast, but Yeah, I was just I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought the results were pretty good, but it felt weird. Um, for the most part, right? We seen LA Knight and the Usos defeat the Vision with Actual Speed, which there was a double turn for Actual Speed. He went into the match being a heel. He turned into a baby face after the match. Um, I, again, one of those things that it's like maybe okay, like maybe you're doing it because you're the fans, right? Like that's the only thing we can kind of like throw out there and kind of just say like, yeah, this is why they're doing said thing. Um, but it just felt weird. It felt really weird for me to be like, oh, well, this is what's happening, right? And I don't know. I don't know. This opening match was just very, very weird. Um, and I tend to try not. I tend to like not try and complain about these things, but it does get hard because it's like, dude, like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is this happening? Um, and granted, like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but like, is that why we brought I Show Speed on for that? Like, are we serious right now? You know what I mean? Like, is that honestly the reason why we did this? Like, it doesn't necessarily make the most sense to me, but whatever floats your boat, right? Like, as long as I guess all parties were happy with it. I really don't know. I really don't know because I know there was a lot of mixed reactions and things of that nature. And honestly, I don't blame anybody that has or had a mixed reaction to this. I don't blame you. Like I would have had the same reaction. Like, yeah, like why is this happening? Why are we doing this? What's the story? Right? And we tend to forget that, like, yeah, like a story needs to be told when you're doing professional wrestling. And yeah, that first match was they definitely forgot to tell a story. And I'm putting that in the nicest way possible. um You had the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Jacob Fatu wins. Um, you had again Paige returning and defeating Nia Jax slash Legend, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, as she partnered with Brie Bella as Nikki was not cleared to compete as they won the tag titles. So congratulations to them. Becky Lynch defeated AJ Lee via pinfall to win back the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Gunther defeated Seth Rollins with help from Braun Breaker. I thought this was another like very good one where it was like, yeah, you're telling a story, and you cap it off, right? You put icing on the cake by having you bring in Braun to spear Seth and cost him the match. Like I thought that was very very good. I did. I did. I liked it. I thought it was very good. I thought, hey, like, yeah, no, there's no way Seth wins. Hey, guess what? Here's another thing. Gunther's gonna get some help, but it's not gonna be the favor that everybody thought it was. Right? Because that's what everybody was thinking too. It was like, oh well, this must be the favor, like Braun Breaker helping Gunther win. And it's like, not necessarily. No, it's not the favor at all. You're gonna have to wait to see what the favor is, and it's like, oh, gotcha, right? And I thought that was very good as well. So just like, hey, might not be understood now, but it will be eventually. Just give us some time to tell you guys this story, right? And that's what they're doing. You know, they're gonna tell the story with Gunther and Seth, obviously. But Gunther's gonna. I don't think Gunther's gonna be in a Vision type role. I don't think so. In my opinion, I could be. Look, I could be completely wrong about this. Which, if I am, I'll make my words. But I don't see Gunther like what the Vision necessarily. I feel like this favor has to do maybe with something else. What's another thing we can throw out there? Uh, I don't think Gunther's gonna be a Paul Heyman guy. Like I don't think that's gonna happen. I think honestly, I think it has to do with something else. You know what I mean? So whatever this favor is, you know, when that time comes, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. Could it be Roman versus Gunther? Right? Because you can't even do at this point right now. You can't do Gunther versus Brock because Brock, quote unquote, whether it's kayfabe or not, he has retired, right? And kind of seems like he actually did retire. Now, could things change? Could plans change? Could he return? Could he have one last match at SummerSlam in Minneapolis with Gunther? Absolutely. But I think if there's one person I would put over right now, I feel like they need it more. It's like The Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and the streak being done for, right? Like that's what it kind of feels like. That Obafemi defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania kind of felt like that. So I wouldn't bring Brock back just to like, hey, you're going to come back and you're gonna lose to Gunther and you can retire again. No, like let's leave it how it is. You know, I think Gunther deserves not Gunther. Obafemi deserves it more than Gunther. Gunther's already a made man. You're trying to build Oba up. Even though Oba's basically a made man as well, but a win like this and Brock retires is something that not a lot of people can have. Like, hey, I retired Brock Lesnar, right? Like we look at, with Brock and The Undertaker. Like, sure, The Undertaker had other matches after that WrestleMania match, but Brock Lesnar was the first man to end the streak, the first man to ever defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. There's not many men that have done that. Honestly, I think it's just him and Roman. But I could be wrong about that too. It might be more. But those are like the only two right now that are kind of coming to my mind right now. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'll say, to say the least, right? Like it's very interesting. What's happening right now. With with Brock, right? Right, the Gunther story, um, the Paul Heyman, what's going to happen with that? That's going to be very interesting to see what the favor is. Then we seen Liv Morgan defeat Stephanie Vakir via pinfall to win the title. I thought this was another good match, right? Like I thought it was. I thought it was a good match, but like I said, I thought it was too quick of a match. I thought it was too quick. But overall, I will say I thought it was very good. The way they presented the woman, and Liv won. How Liv was able to do it, I thought was very good as well. You know, I love this. I love the decision they made to put the title on Liv. Like, yeah, Liv Morgan, you are getting your WrestleMania moment. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, she should have gotten it, and she did. Other people might say other things or whatever, but Liv worked hard for it. She won the Royal Rumble, and she not only won the Royal Rumble, she won the match that got her, right? She won the match. She won her championship match at WrestleMania. She had her WrestleMania moment. Not a lot of people can sit here today where Liv Morgan is as a female in professional wrestling and say that. There's very few. There's very few people. There's very few people that can absolutely 100% say that. Like, hey, yeah, I won the Royal Rumble. I chose who I was gonna fight. I fought them at WrestleMania, and I dethroned them and became the champion at WrestleMania. A lot of men can say that because men Royal Rumble winners going on to WrestleMania to win their championship match has been a thing for years. But for women, it took them a while to get something like this. And they have it. We got the Charlotte Flairs. We have the Rhea Ripleys. We have the Liv Morgans. Like, dude, not everybody is going to be able to get this. And they got this, right? But it's very interesting. And congratulations to Liv Morgan. And then you had the main event. You had Cody Rhodes defending his championship against Randy Orton. This one, there's so much I can say about this match. I can say good stuff. I can say bad stuff. Oh my goodness. I can go on for probably days because this was a match that a lot of people were waiting for. And it wasn't necessarily the outcome that everybody was kind of expecting, right? Like, I don't think anybody was expecting this match to play out the way it did. And I think that was a disappointing factor for a lot of people after the show ended, right? Like, yeah, like, we get it. Like, some people aren't going to understand why, quote unquote, some other people are angry at the outcome. And it's not because Cody won. At least for me, it's not because Cody won. For me, what my kind of deal breaker was getting out of this match was the Pat McAfee involvement. The Jolly Roll involvement as well. I thought was another thing. I thought, not only those things in general, but the story at first was very, very good, and then it became lackluster. And then you go from being a very, very good story to having like just being lackluster and not necessarily making all the sense in the world. And then you go into a situation where you're like, okay, well, yeah, this isn't the greatest story, quote unquote, or thing right now, but don't worry, the match at WrestleMania is going to be great, right? And no, it wasn't great at all. It absolutely 100% made no sense in the world to anybody. After the match, once the bell rang, like it was over and Cody retained, it felt like Cody was the heel and Randy was the babyface. It felt like a double turn, and then Randy, attacks Cody. Randy attacks Cody, and then punt kicks him, swelling his face up. So it was like, okay, well, you know what, guys, never mind. It seems like there was not a double turn. It just seems like we were bamboozled, and I found that very interesting as well. It was like, okay, like that's kind of weird, but at the same time, interesting, if I may add. But we all know what's gonna happen. We all know. At least I do. This is gonna set up just like last year with Cena and Cody. Um, they're gonna get a rematch at SummerSlam, and then that's gonna be the match that kind of tears the house down. You know, it feels like anytime Cody has a match, that match is like, okay, this one's for TKO. It's gonna suck. And then the SummerSlam match is like, okay, this is for the wrestling, the actual wrestlers and wrestling fans, right? Like, we're going to tear the house down. We're going to make you fall in love with professional wrestling for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel like they make those type of matches for, and I always find it hilarious. I do. I always find it hilarious when it happens like that, because it's like, man, why? Like, why can't you guys just, put out the good matches, the good product? Like, it's not that hard, and but we can't always get what we want, and that's the key to everything. Like, we really can't. Like, if we could get everything we wanted, we'd be rich. We'd be rich. Like, honestly, we would. But we can't get everything we want, and that's the sad truth of it all. Congratulations to Bianca Belair. I thought that was a beautiful moment. I don't care what anybody says. There's always going to be people that are going to be negative Nancy's about it and just be like, you know what? Like, why did she waste that spot on? And it's like, oh, wow, she wasted a spot, guys. She wasted a spot. But I thought it was very good. I love that, WWE gave her a moment to kind of just shine and announce that she was pregnant. Man, her and Naomi. Well, Naomi probably should be like any day now, probably given labor. I'm not into the specifics of the times, but she has been gone for some time already. Right, and she's, I don't want to say like she's about to pop, because I don't know at all. And I don't pay attention to that social media stuff unless it's like an actual report from somebody credible and somebody reliable. I'd be like, okay, I'm listening, right? But if it's not, then it's like, okay, no, I'll just wait to hear it from the horse's mouth. And no, I am not calling Naomi a horse. This is literally just a saying, But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting because when Naomi does end up coming back, it'll definitely be interesting to see. Not the only one with Bianca, right? As well, like Jade Cargill has kind of gotten screwed out of both of her storylines. The one with Naomi, right? They were supposed to do something, and the one with Bianca, right? It's really weird how both things just haven't that well, yeah, they didn't work out for her, for Jade, but I mean, there's time, we'll see. They'll eventually be back. It's not like these two women are not going to be back eventually. Like, no, they're going to be back. They are 100% going to be back. They're going to be, thriving and striving again on WWE television. But for now, it's mommy duties, And I feel like Becky Lynch definitely 100% opened the door for all of this. Because if it wasn't for Becky Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, none of this would be happening. Nah, I'm just playing. It's not Becky's fault, but she kind of opened the door for these women to be like, okay, yeah, it's okay to like get pregnant, have children in the middle of me doing my career. Like, I don't have to wait until I'm in my late 40s or mid 40s, early 40s to be like, okay, I'm gonna step away and then have a child. Like, no. And some will do it like that, but there's others that are like, hey, no, I wanna have a baby now. You know what I mean? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing at all that's remotely wrong with that. Like we said earlier, Obafemi did defeat Brock Lesnar. Brock would go on to retire shortly after. I loved it. The way that it was done and everything. Now, I don't know if this was a planned thing from Brock, right? He threw up the axe to Heyman. Like, I don't know what exactly. I haven't heard anything about this just yet. Maybe it was planned, maybe it wasn't, right? Like, I absolutely do not know at all. Like, if I could tell you, I would, but I don't know. The one thing I'll say is, if it wasn't planned, then Brock just did this on the fly and say, you know what, man? Look at this kid, man. Look what he's doing. And look at the crowd going crazy for him. It's his time. I'm going to walk away and this is going to make him an even bigger star. Because he just retired the Beast Incarnate. The man who defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He broke the streak. He went to the UFC. He became a world champion. A multi-time world champion in WWE as well. I am walking away from the game happy. And I'm putting this kid over. I do wonder if that was like the thought process for Brock Lesnar. Hopefully it went down like that. Hopefully it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully it wasn't no, it's whatever. I'll how do I put this? I'll retire and then I'll come back in the summer and face Gunther. Like, hopefully it's nothing like that. And even if it is something like that, it's not like it would be the worst thing in the world. I don't think it would be. But it'd just be weird, in my opinion. Like, no, I don't want to see that, Brock. I think you should just retire. You go into the Hall of Fame next year. I just like the idea of Brock just like going off to the sunset, retiring at WrestleMania, and putting over over. I think it's honestly, I think it's a wonderful thing. Penta retained his Intercontinental Championship in a 6-pack ladder match. My goodness. This is the one I absolutely 100% got wrong. I was like, no, man, come on. What? Penta will not retain, but they give Penta his WrestleMania moment. My goodness. I was surprised by this one. I was like, what? Because I didn't necessarily think that he would get that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think he was going to get his, like, WrestleMania moment, which kind of sounds messed up, but I just didn't think he would. And not because, like, he's not good or anything like that, but it was more of the thought process of, well, you know, sure, he could have his WrestleMania moment. But you had Javon, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, Rusev, right? Like, you had a few guys in there that I just thought, quote unquote, could have been better candidates. But I think they honestly, I really do think they picked the right guy. I do. And congratulations to Penta. He deserved this moment. That's for sure. Excuse me. Oh. And then you got the United States Championship match, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Trick was with Lil Yachty, and he defeated Sami Zayn to become the new United States champion and to win his first main roster title. I thought this was very, very good from WWE to give him, you know, yes, give him his moment. Let him shine. Let him, you know, do what he said that he would do. Right? And that's, you know, be on top of the world, be on top of the mountaintop, and be a champion in WWE, right? Like Trick Williams, that's who he is. He's a champion. He's Trick Willie, right? Like we love Trick Williams, no doubt about it. And congratulations to him. Congratulations to him. This is a big win for him, a big moment. Not only did he win the championship, but he defeated Sami Zayn. Like, that's big. That's huge. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't beat just anybody. Like, he beat the guy, Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? And so I was definitely very happy for him, because Trick Williams does 100% deserve this. There's very few people you can be like, yo, this guy deserves it. Trick Williams is that guy. That you're always gonna be like, yeah, he earned this one. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say that about a lot of people. So congratulations to him. Yeah, the street fight between the Demon, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor won. Finn Balor won. I thought it was the right call. I honestly did. I mean, like, if you didn't give it to Finn Balor in this match, when were you ever gonna give it to him, right? Like, it just felt like the proper time for Finn to win. And of course, as the Demon, like, you definitely wanted him to win as that also personality, that character. because we're building him up to be like this guy, this force, and imagine if he wouldn't have won. Like, what would have been said then, right? Or what would have happened if he didn't win as the demon? Like, I don't even want to imagine what that would have been like. I mean, I have an idea what would have happened, but I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily would have been the case. It possibly could have, though. But good for Finn on winning. Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill via pinfall with help from Io Sky to win the WWE Women's Championship. And then you had the main event. You had Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. It was about a 34-minute match. Roman Reigns defeated CM Punk to win his 7th world title. I thought this was a very, 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 very good match. It was a very good match. A lot of people are saying this is possibly one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. A lot of people are saying that this is the greatest WrestleMania match since The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to agree. The other matches I could put up there that I could be like, yo, it's right there with it. I would put Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I'd also do that. I think you can kind of put those into consideration. I really do. I think those are also some very good matches. But look, Roman Reigns is money. Roman Reigns is money. Roman Reigns is magic. Wherever he goes, whatever he touches, he just turns it into gold. And that's what we've seen this Sunday, a 34-minute match with CM Punk. That, Roman Reigns came out. He came out on top. He came out on top. He ended up becoming the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. His 7th world title. He won again, like Liv Morgan, he wins the Royal Rumble, and he ends up becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. So, good for Roman. I think this is very good for Roman. And he did it with no help. I think that was the biggest thing, right? You look at the story that they were trying to tell. Roman always needs help, right? CM Punk is old. Right, but Roman Reigns didn't need help. He did not get any help. He did it on his own, which was a very good story that they were telling. Very, very good. He did it on his own. He did his own thing. It was good, very, very good to see Roman, tap into another level of his development of his character. And he says he's going in full time. There's no more of that part-time stuff happening no more. Not at least for the summer. Like he's locked in. He's locked in. And I'm like, oh, okay, Roman. Well, if you're locked in, we're locked in, right? And so he calls out Olba. He calls out. I believe he even called out maybe Gunther, but I know for sure he called out Olba because Olba had called him out as well. So, he put Oba on the mat. He said, Oba, I'll be waiting for you. But, I thought it was some very, very good stuff. Thought they did some very nice work with the Roman Punk match. It was just very, very good. I'd say it was the best match of the weekend. It was definitely the best match of the night. And they got 5 stars. That's the first time Roman Reigns has got 5 stars in a match. And I think it's first 5-star WrestleMania match in a while. So it's been a couple years, that's for sure. So congratulations to them. Yeah, they deserve it. They earned it. They did, man. They earned it, and I cannot wait to see what's next for, both men, Punk and Roman. Because, now it's doing different things, working on different areas of their crafts. Obviously, Darby Allin, AEW World Champion. We'll move into some Dynamite talk real quick. Very interesting stuff. He beats MJF after MJF has a grueling match with Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty, where MJF retained his championship, and then on Wednesday it's him versus Darby. It's him versus Darby, and Darby basically squashes him. Now, a lot of people were upset. A lot of people didn't understand how could Darby win so quick. Why did Darby win, right? And it's like, well, you can thank Kenny Omega for that, because Kenny Omega took MJF to the brink, right? Like he made that man work for everything that night. He had to earn that win, which he did. But hey, the beauty of it all, what it stems from and what it comes down to is that Darby got it done. Darby Allin is your world champion. Like, I want you guys to just let that sink in for a moment. And sure, at first, did I ever want Darby to be AEW World Champion? Not necessarily. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Not necessarily. I was kind of, I don't want to say always opposed to it. But I just couldn't see it. That was my thing. It was like, sure, I know eventually Darby would be world champion. It was just like, is that something that will be able to be sustained, right? And I think the beauty of it and the best part about everything that's happening with Darby is he's gonna milk this championship run, but he's gonna milk it in a very fast way. So what it kind of feels like from a fan perspective is that their plan is, hey, you're not going to be champion for long, but we're going to tell this story of you just overworking yourself by defending it every week, and then either at Forbidden Door or at Double or Nothing, or maybe just a regular pay-per-view match. A regular match at a regular show, at a special Dynamite or something. We will have you lose the championship. I think by either May or possibly June, early June, we could possibly be looking at we'll have a new AEW World Champion. I think, and honestly, that's the perfect way to do it. It really is, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, but I honestly think that's the best way to do it, and that's the way I would do it if I was AEW, if I was Tony Khan. Yeah, every single week, even maybe you do a week where you have him defended on Dynamite and Collision, and you do something like that where he's like, hey, I'm a defending champ. I'm going to defend this title each and every week, no matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes to show the world I'm champion. And then maybe if you do a situation like that, you can definitely have him drop it at at Double or Nothing at the end of May. Like, you really could. At that point, it's like, yeah, okay, we see what you're doing. Yeah, let's have him drop it at Double or Nothing. And maybe he drops it back to MJF, right? Or maybe, and this is just a maybe, he loses to Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. I don't know. You could do so many different scenarios, so many different situations, but they're good situations to have because we all know, hopefully, when August comes, that title will be Will Ospreay's. Hopefully, right? And I don't think Darby is gonna hold it until August. There's no way that happens. Like, I don't even think he's gonna hold it until June, past June to be exact. I just don't see a scenario where that happens. I would have to be painted a picture for that. Like, you would have to tell me why, what's the story, things of that nature, for me to be like, okay, I see. Okay. Now I see what you guys are trying to do. And if it was a situation like that, then maybe I could get behind it. But if there's not a situation like that, yeah, I'm probably sticking to my guns and just saying, yeah, no, there's just no way that happens. You know what I mean? And but I think there is. I think there's a very good possibility that, you know, Darby does lose this by the end of May. At Double or Nothing, we will have a new world champion, and I feel like we could look at Swerve Strickland, we could look at MJF or Kenny Omega. I feel like are the ones that we can kind of put out there and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is who the guy is going to be. You know what I mean? And I think that's great. Really think it is. Well, Ospreay got kidnapped. For other news, Death Riders kidnapped him. That's going to be very interesting. Obviously, this week we've seen, you know, Kevin Knight retaining against MJF, Darby retaining. Well, Darby last week retained against Tommaso Ciampa. This week he retained against Brody King. And next week he will defend his championship against Darby. Will defend his championship against Kevin Knight. So that's very interesting and exciting. That's very exciting. I cannot wait to see what happens with that. But yeah, very, very exciting stuff in that picture and that lens. I'm super, super, super excited for that. Just because it's very, very intriguing what AEW is doing right now. Right, Will Ospreay started training with the Death Riders. We'll see what happens with that. If he's actually going to actually be a part of the Death Riders, or if he's going to destroy the Death Riders within. Right, there's so many scenarios, so many different topics you could kind of do with some of these things, and yeah, I'm super excited for some of this stuff. I'm super, super excited. I cannot wait to kind of see what happens with this. Because you could go so many different routes. You know, we're talking about the MJF stuff, the Darby Allin stuff, Kevin Knight and what he's doing, right? We're looking at Will Ospreay and the Death Riders, right? The Ops recruiting Will Ospreay as well, which is very interesting as well. So yeah, it should be very, very interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, you are cursed. I'm not gonna lie. And it's tough for me to admit when I'm not really, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, right? Like, I think I'm not the only one when I say, like, yeah, we're not always the smartest group around as men, specifically. But I don't think we all knew, I feel like we knew Danhausen would work in WWE. It was just like, okay, in the TKO version of WWE, how would he work? Would he actually be able to, you know, do the things that we were accustomed to him doing, or is it just not going to be it? And he surprised and he impressed and he did and he has been doing what I thought how he would look like in the WWE world. I think he's doing some really, really good stuff in WWE. You know, doing really, really good, and you know, um, I'm not. I don't want to put him as quote unquote rookie of the year for WWE, but I'm not gonna lie. Danhausen is having a really, really solid rookie year. Look, if there was comedy acts to kind of win rookie of the year, he would be up there. Then, and the reason I say this, Danhausen was number 3 in selling merchandise on WrestleMania weekend. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Danhausen. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in for a minute. Like, that should tell us everything we need to know if this guy is over or not, if it's working or not. Right? Because if there's one thing, if you really want to, be on top of your game, if you want to make sure you don't get fired, if you want to make sure you're able to feed your family over and over and over again, sell merchandise. Now, that's not going to be the key all the time, but if you could do that on a consistent basis, ladies and gentlemen, oh man, you're set. You're set for life. You are. And that's with Danhausen. WrestleMania. I'm talking about WrestleMania weekend. This ain't Backlash weekend. This isn't Hell in a Cell weekend. No. This isn't a Clash in Paris weekend. Nothing like that. No, I am talking about WrestleMania weekend, the biggest weekend in WWE history every single year, where people that only watch wrestling on WrestleMania Day come out and watch. Celebrities, all these different types of people that come out just to watch because of WrestleMania. It's like people that don't really watch football, but watch the Super Bowl because of the commercials, the halftime show, or just because it's the Super Bowl. It's one of the biggest shows of the year, and that's really what they want to see. It. They want to see who wins. They want to see what happens. They want to stay in tune with everything for the most part. That's kind of what WrestleMania is for a lot of people, And granted, I mean, like let's be for real for a second, right? Like it's a great problem to have if you're the WWE that Danhausen is number 3. I believe Cena and CM Punk were 1 and 2. So like, you know what I mean? Like that's a great problem to have if you're Danhausen, if you're WWE, that your comedy act is like outselling some of the top guys in this business, like Roman Reigns, Gunther, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, right? And that's just naming a short list. There's so many more. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. I'm sure they got The Rock, Stone Cold merch. I don't know how much they sell at the moment right now, but you would assume that they could be possibly top 10, top 15, maybe top 20 merchandise list, but again, maybe not. I really don't know. I'm not in tune with really the merchandise aspect of things, but I seen Danhausen was number 3, and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this on the podcast because this is definitely something that needs to be talked about. Obviously, it's just very intriguing for me to know, like, man, like Danhausen's, doing his thing, man. He's selling merch. Soon he's gonna be selling out shows. Kidding, people. But I mean, somebody made an argument the other day, and it pissed me off because yes, Danhausen is great. He's top notch. He's top notch. But I don't think he's this great. And this is no disrespect to Danhausen, but somebody tried making an argument that he will be WWE World Champion, and I had to shut it down. And not because I don't believe in Danhausen, right? Like it has nothing to do with that. I think Danhausen is a great act. I think he fits perfectly well in the WWE. He actually fits perfect to WWE. For me, what kind of made me put a pause to this was because something I don't see. This is why, like, if the 24/7 championship was around, he would have already been like a 10-time 24/7 champion, or at least a 1-time 24/7 champion. But he would have already been like the longest reigning 24/7 champion of all time. But it's very interesting because a lot of people have these set opinions. They have these things that they really bark on. Like they take this thing to the chest. Like they will live and die by the sword, right? And granted, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yes, stand on what you believe in, fight for what you believe in, right? But Danhausen as WWE World Champion, that would only work one way. This would only work one way, where he wins the WWE World Champion, but Nick Aldis or Adam Pearce comes out and says, "Oh, there's been a mistake," right? That's one way, and you got to redo the match, and then he loses. But he was champion for 2 seconds, right? Like that's gonna count as yes, he was world champion before. Another way, and a lot of people are probably gonna be like, "What?" He wins the world champion soon after he gets cashed in on. Or he mistakenly wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. It just literally falls into his arms and he's able to cash in. He wins it, and let's say the next Raw or SmackDown, or even the next pay-per-view, maybe he holds it for, an entire few weeks or a month. And next thing you know, the next pay-per-view, he loses it, right? Squash match. It opens up the show. Yeah, you have to. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's the only way. Those are like the few options I can see where I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see it if they did it this way. But if they tried to do it any other way, then I'd be like, no. You know what I mean? That's the one thing. But I still I just don't see it happening. Not because Danhausen isn't good, right? Like, he can wrestle, but that's not who Danhausen really is. Danhausen isn't known for his wrestling. Danhausen is known for his comedy acts. You curse. Like, come on now. Like, let's be for real, people. But yeah, seen more MFT stuff, right? We've seen Solo and Jacob. We've seen the Usos, right? We've seen Jacob Fatu step up to Roman Reigns. He said, I don't want your title. I need that title. Like, I'm like, dude, like, Jacob Fatu he's just one of those guys that makes you believe anything, right? Like, he's that good. Like, he can make you believe literally anything in the world. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's crazy how he can make you believe literally anything. And I'm telling you, it was anytime Jacob Fatu is on TV, it's so believable. Like this past week, with him and Roman, right, where he gets the Haku grip or the Tonga grip, sorry, on Roman, and it's like after Roman's all sweaty, he can barely talk, and it's just like, dude, like this is why professional wrestling is so good. Like, this is why. It's right there for the taking. It's right there. They are telling us why. Right? And, a lot of people necessarily aren't seeing the vision. No pun intended. But it's right there. It's right there. We need to open our eyes and just see what they are planning, what they have planned, what they are doing, because it's just it's perfect. It's 100% perfect, man. It's different. You know what I mean? It 100% is different, dude. There's nothing like it. We're getting this backlash match. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. I love the full-time Roman. I love the way Roman is able to tell his stories. Whether it's with the Usos, whether he's alone, whether the vignettes, whether it's facial expressions, right? No matter everything Roman does, he does it purposely, right? And now you're doing it with somebody like a Jacob Fatu who can tell a story in a different manner, in a different way, by being authentic, by being real. Like it's so good, and I love it, dude. I do. I love what Jacob Fatu is doing in WWE. What he's going to be doing in the Bloodline. Eventually, because I feel like eventually he will acknowledge Roman Reigns. And that's another thing people are complaining. Oh, the Bloodline's back. Oh God, the Bloodlines. I'm picking my buggers right now, but the Bloodline's back, guys. Oh no, not this again. Three more years of this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I'm here to just bring you guys something. Bring you something simple, authentic. And it comes with this. And this is how it goes. In my opinion, I don't necessarily think the Bloodline is back. I think they are going to operate in the way that they used to. No, I actually don't think they'll operate in the way that they used to. Again, if they need each other, they'll be there for each other. I feel like Roman's going to be the babyface that we've all wanted him to be. The babyface that does things alone, that doesn't necessarily need the Bloodline. Jimmy's kind of going to be that same way. Jay isn't. Jay Uso is going to be very hard for him to kind of accept it. We'll see if eventually he does accept it. If he doesn't, then maybe possibly we do see a heel turn. Jacob Fatu is kind of going to be that babyface. I know a lot of people are speculating whether he's a babyface or not after what happened on Raw this past Monday with him and Roman. Yeah, a lot of things, speculations, a lot of things up in the air. But that's the perfect thing with this bloodline. You just never know when or who or how it's going to happen. I think eventually we're going to find out who really knocked down Jacob Fatu's teeth out of his mouth. Was it Sammy? Was it Jay, right? Was it really Drew McIntyre? I don't necessarily believe it was Drew McIntyre. I feel like now we got Jay in the mix. Maybe it was Jey Uso. Maybe it was actually Sami Zayn. We're going to get there eventually. But, man, I fully believe 100% that Jacob would join this new bloodline. So, like he said, put his kids in good schools, to have a house, have cars, be wealthy, be good, right? Don't have to worry about nothing. Like Jacob Fatu said, I don't want to be the tribal chief. I want to have everything that comes with being the tribal chief. But Jey Uso said, if Roman loses, there will be consequences. That means the Lafala, tribal chief's name, all of that goes to Jacob Fatu. So, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see. Very compelling, right? The story leading up to Backlash. Then when Backlash happens, because Backlash is May 9th, I believe. So, we're right there. They're going to have one more Raw, one more two more SmackDown, one more Raw. And then, boom, Backlash. We also have, I believe, Saturday night's main event coming up soon. I think in May. I think at the end of May. So, some good stuff happening there. So it's going to be interesting to see the MFTs. Are they going to break up, right? Will Solo look for Roman and the Usos and Jacob again? Or is he just going to do his own thing, right? Will Zilla Fatu kind of be brought into the story? This kind of feels like the perfect time to kind of possibly bring in a Zilla, right? But I don't know how you feel about him. So we'll wait and see on that. I don't want to get my hopes too high. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to keep my thoughts to myself. But I'm super excited. And stop complaining, all right? This Roman doesn't want the Usos to serve him. They're all equal. That's it. It's like when they first got back together and they did the, they were facing... Yeah, they were facing MFTs and their stuff. They didn't last that long together. They ended up doing their own separate things. That's really what it's kind of going to be. And I think it's very good. I think it's very, very good. If you do it like that, there's no issues. I feel, in my opinion, it's very easy to just, tell a story and, when you need them, they're there. Another thing, Cody Rhodes still hasn't been cleared, so we'll see what happens with that, with his eye and everything. We'll see. CM Punk obviously is taking some time off. And, everybody's been wanting Jacob versus Roman, a one-on-one match, for so long. Now everybody doesn't want it, right? Because it involves the bloodline. How do you think you're going to get into the story? You have to involve the bloodline. You have to just be quiet. Enjoy it. That's it. Enjoy it. Some notable releases that have happened that I want to talk about before I go. From NXT, Andre Chase, Dante Chen, Tyra May Steele, Serena Linton, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Igwe, Malik Blade, Chris Island. There's definitely some more, but those are like the select few. Alistair Black, Zelina Vega, Kairi Sane, Santos Escobar, Motor City Machine Guns, Apollo Crews, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, the entire Wyatt Six faction. I think Dexter Loomis was like the only one. No, was it there? No, it might have been Rowan. Rowan might be, but I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. Let's see. I want to say. Oh yeah, yeah, he got released. Yeah. Okay, so Eric Rowan got released. Was it Dexter Loomis then? Um, Let me see. Dexter Loomis. Trying to see real quick. Let me see. Dexter Loomis. He Oh yeah. He got released as well. Okay, so yeah, I guess all of the Wyatts got released. Um, yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, there's a few guys and girls on this list that AEW absolutely 100% could sign, whether they got released or it was, contract not getting renewed. If I'm Tony Khan, some of these people, I'm like, hey, I need to get you here ASAP. Like you can do business for us. Like Dakota Kai, she should have been in AEW. Still not there. Don't know what the deal is with that. Even Will Ospreay has said, yes, I would love for AEW to sign her. Don't know what the deal is there. Hopefully, eventually, she is able to get to AEW, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Kairi Sane again. There's been reports of her wanting to just go back to Japan, be closer to home. That's what's being reported. I don't necessarily know if that's the absolute 100% truth. If it is not, you guys don't deserve the internet. If that is true, it's fully respected. But if it's not, if it's true, even if it's true or it's not, if I'm AEW, I'm trying to get her to me ASAP. Because you can kind of do the thing with Will Ospreay, right? Like, or what you do with some of your other Japan wrestlers where you have them, they don't necessarily always wrestle for AEW. Whenever they want, they can. And that's kind of what Kari, that's kind of what you get. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, I don't see him going to AEW. I don't know if AEW is going to want to have him back there. Zelina Vega, would love to see her in AEW. I just don't know if she would wrestle there without her husband. I just don't know if that's a possibility. I just don't see that happening. I really don't. Let me see. Motor City Machine Guns, absolutely do not go back to TNA. You absolutely need to go to AEW. That's where you should have been in the first spot. Santos Escobar, once you recover from your injury, AEW bound, please. Alba Fire, could see her end up in AEW. We know who's there right now. That's why I'm saying it. Zoe Stark, maybe Ring of Honor, maybe TNA. I could see her. most likely TNA. But yeah, man. That's what we got, people. That's what we got. But yeah, hopefully, everybody can bounce back, from the releases. It's not an easy thing. You get a release from your dream job or a job that, you've always wanted to do and you're doing it now and they release you, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end. You can still punch your ticket somewhere else. Don't give up. There's other promotions. It's not like it was 20, 25 years ago. There's other places out there that can give you the spotlight, that can give you the chances, like a TNA, like a New Japan Pro Wrestling, like an AEW. There are situations out there for everyone. Don't give up on it. Keep on thriving and striving and getting your goals accomplished one way or another. Please, all the releases, go out and get it. Don't quit. Don't quit now. You came too far to quit. And that's the truth. So also there's been a whole bunch of call-ups from NXT as well, which I think is pretty cool, but these roster releases, man, it was a gut punch. It was a gut punch, that's for sure, man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we'll see what happens, in the near future for WWE. Telling you, I was so super happy for them after night 2 of WrestleMania. And then, some of the product they've been putting out on Raw, SmackDown, NXT was really, really good. I mean, you talk about Evil debuting and stuff like that. Like, it was really, really good. And then, boom, they do these releases. It's like, oh, man, come on. So, it's tough, but it's not the end. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This is the Mark Clone on Wrestlelite. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, and next time will be very, very soon. Goodbye, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Wanted to be your father. I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father, but your father's dead.
I'm short. I'm bald. I can't get any hoes.
She's on me, bitch.
Tonight you meet the team of Thunder Tits.
Adam! You fucking Mark! Fire me! I'm gonna do some real cowboy shit!
Must bid you two a goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bang! Yes!
These people walk away, only one thing on their mind, and it's a phrase of whose house?
I'm better than you.